Okay. Hi, Susan.
Hi.
So we were just talking about peace, and would you like to say anything about those things that I asked you about peace?
That's a really interesting question. I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a cold, so I hope you can hear this, but I think we talk a lot about peace and finding peace, and I don't know why it's such a struggle in our day-to-day life to try to seek out peace, although we know that it's a missing element. It's like, missing sun. When you don't have sun, you physically, react to that. I think the way that we communicate now so quickly, and everybody knows everybody's business, it's very hard to find peace because it's like too much information, the overload of information that we receive, and a lot of it, frankly, is quite disturbing and troublesome. So, peace to me is not having a cell phone. It's not being able to be at the beck and call of everybody at every minute of my life. I am very social, but it's at a cost. I'm really an introvert, and so to put that out there, to be social, to be in my role at work, it comes pretty naturally, but there's a cost to it, and that's that depletion of your need to be by yourself. And so where I get sort of re-energized for myself is to be by myself. I'm the type of person that likes to just take the bus to Boston and walk downtown by myself because I know no one knows me.
Yeah.
And that I find is peaceful. Sitting by the ocean, hearing that sound, to me, that sound that's so much bigger than myself.
Yes.
Is peaceful for me. I find that it's a struggle for everybody to find peace, and it's something that I think we should spend some more time on really deeply thinking about, because let's face it, we're not a peaceful nation, we're not a peaceful world. We can sit and cry about the plight of the Africans or other apartheid or any of those elements, but I think it's because you feel like you can't really do anything that helps, kind of make this kind of gratingness in you that doesn't offer you peace and restfulness. So I'm not really sure how to overcome that. I think you find peace in the way that you find peace, and you recognize it as your peace. Some people meditate. My mind, I have a very active mind. It's very hard for me to settle.
But you have a dog.
I have a dog, and he is not peaceful.
Okay.
But I enjoy him, and I know that for my own health, he's very important for me. I will tell you that it's a very well kept secret in my house. It's not really, but that my husband, when I married him, he said he couldn't give me much, but he would try to help teach me calmness.
Really? Wow.
And my husband's Japanese, even though he has a New Jersey accent. He has that ability within himself to not, he doesn't go woo, woo through the day like I'm Irish, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I react to things. He is very calming in that his approach to things.
Yes.
Sometimes a little too black and white for me. It's this or it's that, but he's never angry. He's never, he never raises his voice. And so for me, that's part of my calmness at home.
That's wonderful.
I have a dog and a very calming, loving husband who understands my need to sometimes say things that may be inappropriate.
Oh, but it's fun sometimes.
Well, and I don't mean vulgar, but sometimes I'll say, I'm so mad I want to slap her. And of course I wouldn't do that because I have executive function in my frontal brain that would stop me from doing that. But that expresses the anger that I'm feeling, the frustration I'm feeling right at that moment. So, he doesn't react to that, so that gives me sort of, I can say it, it's gone.
Do you think that your husband, being Japanese, had a lot of influence from the collective culture?
I do, even though he was adopted at birth, he lived in, it's a very kind of interesting story, which I'll share with you sometime, but he was adopted by someone who knew, an American, a person who knew his family, and his father died unexpectedly right before he was born. So he did live in Japan for about 11 years or so. And he lived with a Japanese...
Sorry.
That's all right, go ahead.
I couldn't find it.
So, but he lived with a Japanese nanny and housekeeper because his adoptive father did not, marry. And then after 11 years, he did move to the United States. So he doesn't really have a lot of Japanese accent because he went to an American school that spoke English. But the cultural part of him, I see a lot.
Very, very interesting.
Even though if you heard him on the phone, you would never. He worked for a senator. People come in looking for him. His last name is Nelson because his adopted father was Swedish. And they'll come in and they'll see him and they'll think, well, it's not him. But it is him. So he's got a very funny sense of humor.
Yeah, neat. That's important too.
Accepting of people. And I think, too, going back to this idea of what peace is, I think peace is also self-knowledge. Is that I could say, oh, I embrace all cultures. If I really looked at myself, maybe I really don't do that. And I don't do that because I've never been tested. I grew up in the state of Maine. I've never had a lot of interaction with other cultures. When I was at Portland High and the Somali cultures came in, that was a moment of sort of self-reflection for myself. Was it something culturally that I could accept or be accepting of that as graciously as I thought I could? And so peace, I think, is coming to terms too with maybe the edges of yourself that aren't perfect, and trying to figure out why that might be so, and why am I so much more quickly accepting of cultures that are more like mine.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that research shows that it happens with a lot of people. You tend to go toward the people that are most like you.
Yeah, I think it's natural.
I think it probably is. But to say I'm not racist, or I have no cultural, biases, but never to be tested, is easy for a lot of Mainers to say until you're in a situation where now you're living in Portland, there's a great amount of diversity in Portland now that wasn't there before, it's new, it's kind of unexpected, and how do you feel about that? So the peace, you have to let go, I think part of that, and be more accepting of how people are, and just be willing to be open to that too.
Yeah, I grew up in South Jersey, so some of the neighborhoods are, there's a different world 10 minutes away in any direction.
Sure.
So I kind of have some of that, but plus I moved here in '84, so I could see the way that people felt from neighborhood to neighborhood based on, in New Jersey, how many different people they were exposed to in different ways, and just different races and things like that.
And as much as you want people to be like you so that you will, feel that connectedness, you have to at the same time be respectful that they're not like you sometimes in some ways. And how much you're willing to accept their way of life and their way of doing things is something that you just have to deal with yourself. I think it's a personal question of reaching that inner peace. And I think once people get to that point and identify what it is that frightens them about another culture or makes it a little harder for them to accept, I think they will gain more world peace maybe. I think that's probably the answer.
Definitely, I think so.
I hope so.
Thank you so much, Susan.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
How's the light?
Good. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
So we talked before about peace a little bit, and I just wanted to, because my video camera wasn't on the last time I interviewed you, to re-interview you. Okay, so Mike, you are a musician.
Yep.
And I just wanted to ask you what your idea of peace is, or how you find peace or promote it. I think that you do that through your music.
Yeah. I'd say it's just nice to be able to have a creative outlet, because it makes it easier than to put things in words, to be able to express it through creativity.
Yeah, and music is very, very universal. So it's a good thing. You do a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
For the world. So what other ways do you find peace? I think you talked about nature.
Yeah, I definitely find peace in nature, and just, stepping outside and kind of looking around and being aware. I think a big part is being aware of your surroundings.
Yes.
And especially in nature, it certainly opens up peace and takes, it kind of gets you out of your mind in a way that is beneficial to your, you know,
Yes.
your being.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. Wish I was something like.
Okay, Mike, we're back.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the community a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so, sorry, you were saying? On.
Well, you had asked me about community and what I thought it meant to have a strong community, and something came to mind where we're working on a new album with my band right now, and we really needed a space to do it. And so I kind of put the word out there, and a good friend down the street, who's actually an old English teacher in high school, has a barn that she's letting us use to record. And in exchange, we're like chopping her firewood and moving some things and doing some work around her farm. So it's a nice trade. I think it's important to have that, you know. Whereas we didn't have a big budget to rent a space, it worked out really well to be able to help her out as well as she's helping us. So to me, that's a good example of strong community.
Beautiful example. The fact that you've known each other from, you know, you have a history together because she's a teacher.
Right.
And, you know, that you guys are kind of bartering in a way. And
exactly.
Everybody's happy about it.
Right.
It's a really good thing.
It is.
And your band's name?
Is Old Soul.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
He looks very happy. Does he?
Easy does it. That's the potatoes. There we go. Yes, there he is. I took him out. He peed.
Oh, good.
Alrighty, the due costs were.
So easy to get adopted once somebody sees how lovable
Yes,
they are.
yep. My sister
They're
has,
a great lap dog.
They're
Great
big babies.
lap dog.
Yep.
Oh yeah. 30. Yeah.
You have 30 cats.
I'll start with this one.
Yeah. It started out with one cat that Beth went out every snowy morning and sat in the snow and fed this cat, and then after a few days got warmed up. Came in the house.
That's so awesome.
But she turned around and the black cat was back outside. She said, "How'd that cat get outside?" It was her mate.
Different one.
It was her mate.
Huh.
So we had named her Ink Spot. But once we found out that there was two of them, so she became Ink and the male became Spot. So we had Ink and Spot. And just about 2 months ago, Inky died.
Oh.
My very first cat, it's time, but my very first cat and my very latest cat died in the same day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the wildest, like whoa, what karma on that?
But don't but though they had a wonderful life.
Oh yeah, they had like 13, 14 years.
And you were positively affected by them, and they were positively affected by you.
We loved them so much that we got rid of tenants in the house, and that whole second side of our house is the cat house.
That's beautiful.
We have one entire room is a bathroom area where it's all bathrooms. There's a kitchen for them. There's an exercise room for them. There's a sleeping room for them. I have a diabetes room in case because I take the sick ones. I take them. And I got a leukemia room.
Wow.
And I got a maternity room.
Wow.
Yeah, so like when they have one's going to pop up some babies, they give them to Beth and me because we can scrub the whole place down. It's all tiles.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
That's
it's
wonderful.
really neat. Matter of fact, we just got a litter now that we're just passing them out now.
Oh.
2 of them are going home with they're getting picked up Christmas Eve because they're for their daughters.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful.
That's when it's so tickle, you know, like the people. They call all the time too. They say, "How's the kitten doing? How's she doing?"
So they're committed. They're you guys would totally be able to feel that out.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, you love them.
Oh, we keep them.
Yeah.
You know, the other day
that's
we,
cool.
you know, took one
I
in
wanna
that
do
just
that.
couldn't get well.
Oh.
Couldn't get well here. There was just too much stress and racket. And so the girl said to us, hey, can you take them home for a while? Or Beth and I had sucker written all over us. They know that we'll take them. We took them home, and within 4 days, this cat had no more symptoms of being ill.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we're keeping
They're sensitive.
it. Hey, but I think we're
Good.
keeping it. It's
Good.
a tortoise. It's a tortoise. And we don't have any, we have
Wow.
Siameses and stuff, but we didn't have any tortoises, so we may be keeping Sprinkles.
Oh,
That's what they named it, Sprinkles. Yeah, and we got another one just 2 weeks before called Kitty, but it's a guy, so we have to call him Mr. Kitty.
Mr. Kitty.
And he's
well,
a
that
lilac
works.
Siamese.
Oh, really? Wow. That's cool.
We just found out the other day he likes dog treats.
Does he?
He comes up to the dog's treats and waits till the dog turns his head and sneaks down and steals
That's so
them.
funny. Well,
A girl, for one of the young girls, she had cancer and she was in remission, and I got her a year at Emory. I paid for a year at Emory.
That's great.
And Joe, he had a heart transplant, and I paid for his family's life insurance and health insurance for a year.
That's great.
Yeah, I did what, 10 or 12.
So you feel good about
10 or 12 people I helped them out, especially
really
with the
cool.
cancer. I feel bad about cancer people. There's nothing they can do for that. You know?
No, there isn't.
And the community should help.
It creeps up on
Yeah.
people. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, so I wanted to ask you. You've been in the Kennebunk community for some time.
Yeah.
Kind of a prominent figure with the record store and all the wonderful volunteer stuff that you and your wife both do. And I know she worked at Kennebunk High School.
Still does.
She still does.
Yeah.
So you guys have both had a great impact on people in this community.
Especially young people.
And now you both do a lot of work for animals, and you're very involved in the Animal Welfare Society in Kennebunk. And I just wanted to ask you, and I know that you could probably write 10 books on this, but just a little paragraph about your idea of peace. And it's going to be hard to summarize.
No, it's pretty easy, because peace is starting your day feeling good, knowing that you spent your whole day feeling good, and knowing that you made somebody else feel good.
Yeah.
That's real peace. That's real inner peace.
I think, personally, I believe that the key to peace and happiness in life and feeling fulfilled is giving, and not monetarily. But I mean, that's good too. But you know.
Yeah, but showing that you care.
Yes.
And,
yeah, that's.
Yeah, doing other things for them is more important.
Yeah.
Because money can come around if it's going to come around, but getting somebody to help you is not.
And money is usually only a means to other things that people need.
Yeah.
And they always need kindness and connections.
And it feels really good to see real smiles on their faces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real smiles.
Yes.
Like the other day, Beth helped deliver some puppies.
Really?
And the puppy, she had to have a cesarean, and while I was out on the road, she called me and she says, hey, can you get some puppy replacement milk? This mommy's not going to be able to nurse the puppies for a couple of days. So I got him, and I met her at the school, and she had the little puppies at the school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and we helped the guy, and then we
That's
brought
very
him
cool.
to his house when he got home, and the vets let her come home after the end of the night. We had been taking care of the babies.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So you totally know about peace and giving.
You got to.
Yeah. And isn't it amazing how you get so much back instantly and in the long run?
It's every day Beth and I feel good.
Yeah.
You know, we have an easy life probably because of it. Because we don't make anything complicated. It's just help and get up in the morning and do some more. You know? Like, she never takes off school because her kids would miss her.
Yes.
And I never take off here because they always worry, where is he? Where is he?
Yeah.
We gotta have him. You know, and I run everywhere for any of them. As you can
That's
tell, I was
great.
just getting Christmas wreath stuff now.
When I used to volunteer here, I had to be here every day because I knew that that those dogs wanted me, and I knew that there was laundry piling up and whatever, you know, whatever there needed to be done.
There are 300 people on the volunteer list, and there aren't 20 workers.
Wow.
So you've got to do it because they count on it.
Yeah. Yep.
They count on it. That makes you feel good.
Yeah, and this is you know, coming from where we both came from, South Jersey. Yeah. This shelter it's a good shelter as far as being able to get animals homes and educating, even having the time and ability to educate the public about the importance of the pet overpopulation
And we take
issue.
so many animals from so many other areas.
Right, they bring animals in from poorer areas.
We get usually a truck every other week.
That's wonderful.
Of animals, and they're gone quick. Particularly puppies.
Yeah.
Puppies, once we've got them shot and shut up and stuff and they're safe, there's a 3 or 4 hour waiting line in the morning when I come here at 8 o'clock and we don't open till 11 and they're waiting.
Yeah.
So, you know, we sneak in and we get the pieces of paper and so they don't have to fill it out now. That way when you go in, you can just hand it to them, you'll be first in line.
Yes.
You know, I like doing that to them.
Yeah, that's great.
Or you'll get the puppies and you'll put them in the window on them.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's nice. It's just adding to the joy of the experience.
Yeah.
You can't do that all the time, so it's a beautiful experience that you get to do a few times in your life with bringing an animal into a dog especially. Yeah. Into your life.
But when you're waiting, like when the people are waiting and they got a long wait and say like it's a little cold, put the kittens in the doorway. You know, the two doorways where the customers can come in because that door's locked. And put the kittens in there and let them watch it. Time will fly for them. Yeah. I'll go in and out and run a vet run and come back and they're still watching the cats romp on each other.
Yeah, and they probably were busy doing that when it's time to go in.
They don't even realize, like, oh, look, 2 hours have gone by.
Oh, well,
and you're cold.
Oh, not really. You probably are though, but
no, this is the way I go pretty much most of the winter.
I wanted to say that thank you, and it's a pleasure to know such amazing people. And
it's always nice to see you grow.
Thank you.
I've watched you from quite a while now.
Yeah.
Over 20 years.
I know. Yeah, I was like a kid when I first came into your record store.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Were you married yet?
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Michelle.
So we were just talking about peace, and I came in and just sort of bombarded you with this. But I know that you're a great person, and you definitely help a lot of people by your position here and your knowledge and things like that, and your wisdom and stuff. So I thought that you would be an awesome person to interview.
Thank you.
Anyway, well, so you can just go ahead and say whatever you want.
Peace. The best way for me to get connected to peace is to go out and all day, if possible. It grounds me so I could then step into this position and pass it on through healing as best I can.
Yeah.
Healing and nature are two big pieces of ways of passing it. And they're definitely connected. Around peace too, and when it is appropriate not to be so peaceful. This year I've worked with some Earth Firsters who are out on the front lines, peacefully putting up roadblocks and trying to protect what's left of the wild, not compromising. So I wonder if peace is always something we need, or if there are times when we have to step out of it in order to. Because the language, I don't know, I have a really hard time with it, actually.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's even, like, I think this is crazy, but I think Jerry Garcia said something about even if you protest war, you're still being part of it, you're still being drawn into it, but I don't know. But I guess some protesting is rather negative and violent, but I would totally be guilty of that occasionally, if I were to be guilty of anything.
I I mean, it's
negative,
it's
violent
wonderful
way.
for community building.
Yeah.
It's wonderful for families to live peacefully and stuff. And out in the real world, just the energy of the peace. You can always tell when somebody's a peaceful person.
Yeah.
They float in here, and it's like you just want to follow them around. It's very attractive.
Yes.
It is very attractive. But and it's a nice feeling.
And it spreads, I think.
Oh, it definitely spreads.
Yeah. One of the things that I learned in my communications 101, and had never taken a communications class, but I want to take a lot more because I like filming and stuff. But anyway, is just nonverbal language. It really, and I've had to practice some of it. It makes the world of difference because you definitely give off a vibe one way or another, depending on negative or positive nonverbal action. And, you know, a good vibe can open up possibilities, whereas the bad vibe can totally close them.
Down. Open heart, open heart.
So anyway, so that's, yeah, that's interesting because you have a position where you would notice that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And you can always tell the energy work people too, because they're so peaceful.
Yeah, I should probably look into that.
Yeah, interview a few.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but the big question and it's been a big question for 6 months now for me is how do I make major changes in our culture and remain peaceful, because all the hand holding and all the love songs and all the chanting and all the peaceful hugs and stuff does not change
You don't
anything.
feel like you're doing enough by being a great person and a great role model? I think that
No.
you're doing a great deal, though. Well,
No, I don't. I don't feel. I don't feel. I mean, I think it's great and it's definitely needed, and it's just something that is. But to make the big changes we have to make, I want to learn how to do it peacefully and have it be effective.
That's why I want to work at the, I shouldn't say this, ground level with children, because you can't really say that they're at ground level, but at the root, you know, they're the future, and so cliche, but, you know, they definitely will be in charge of things, and I've seen it in Kennebunk. Kids grow up and they leave because they were skateboarders and they were completely disrespected the whole time they were growing up, just for carrying skateboards around town. And
There's no
so they
respect
take
for
their
kids.
talents and their educations and their wonderful talent, abilities to be great people, which they are, and they leave. So I think that communities really should focus on
Youth.
just youth, yeah, and just try to appreciate them. Anyway.
That's what. Yeah, I worked at elementary schools for 12 years, and I did promote a lot of peaceful things.
I'm sure.
Through them, because they have to learn. I mean, they have to know.
And I'm
That's
sure
where it starts.
they've always remembered it, and they're also doing that too because
plant
of
a
your
seed.
influence. Yep.
You plant a seed.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thanks,
that was
Michelle.
beautiful. Bye.
Good luck with your project.
Thank you. Bye. Okay. Hi, Holly.
Hi.
So we were just
Hi,
talking.
Michelle.
We were just talking about a lot of things,
Yes.
including peace. And I guess one of the things that we talked about was an issue that you could probably bring peace into that because, you know. Anyway, all right. Okay. Hi, Holly.
Hi, Michelle.
Okay, so we were just talking about peace a little bit, and whatever you want to talk about, or what kind
So
of ideas
things
you
in my
have.
past,
Yeah.
or times in my past when I've known peace.
The most peace, or whatever you can think of right now.
One thing that pops right into my head is spending time on the beach at Cocoa Beach, Florida, with my cat and a fishing pole, and relaxing in the sunshine
That's so cool.
And him sitting there waiting for me to haul the fish in.
Really?
So
wow.
it was
that's so neat.
You know, nothing else mattered. The sun was beautiful.
Yeah.
The weather was great.
Yes.
You know, catching some rays and sticking my pole in the sand and
Yeah.
pulling in some great fish for cooking up later. And my cat would follow me right down and sit on the sand with me.
That's so cool. They're so
was a lot of
smart.
fun.
They're like
Yeah.
little people in cat suits. Yeah.
Most recently, I had a very good meeting with the Sullivan Street Center here in Biddeford. And there were all these different people that had come to the table to talk about all the critical issues that are happening in that community. And we were all working
super.
towards the same goal, all coming from different walks of life, facing the problems head on and trying to come up with a plan to make it a better place for everybody to live.
What kind of problems do they have?
Well, there's a lot of poverty.
Oh, yeah,
Substandard housing. You know, we talk about healthy food and community gardens and places for kids to play and the safety in the neighborhood. So the police department's there, DHS is there, the Partnership for Healthy Children, YMCA, all these people that are concerned and want to help. And
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and I felt a sense of peace in that room.
That's great. Yeah, really, really
You know?
cool.
Yeah.
I have been reading a lot this semester in all of my classes, and one of the I totally have been really taken by the fact that my theories are validated about the community and what it can do really to make the future better, and how we all need peace, and it's really not that hard to get it. But one of the things, though, there's a book called Altars in the Streets, and there's a story in there about a woman who does community gardening in a really, really treacherous kind of a community with, you know, guns being fired, and it's great, but it's a great story. And I thought about the work that you do with the gardens in Biddeford, and it's very important because, you know, it's really important. I'm hearing a lot of stuff from people about how nature can really, and I've known this and felt it within myself, but it's great to hear it from other people, that nature can really make people feel peaceful. And
working in some of the downtown parks here in Biddeford.
So babbling right now.
I spent like 2.5 hours just working by myself in Chevenel Park the other day,
Really?
deadheading and pruning the shrubbery and sweeping and raking.
That's cool.
And I find it very satisfying, and just, you know, hearing the wind coming through the park and into the trees. And
well, I think that's beautiful.
that.
And you know, no matter what we're doing or living in, we can find peace very easily and inexpensively with a little bit of nature or helping. And I think that you do all of that. You know, you're helping and you're still getting peace in nature, but you're also giving, so you're getting a reward in that way too. And I really admire your work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, bye, Holly.
Bye, Michelle.